Single dad janitor said, "I'll help you walk." The paralyzed CEO laughed, then cried. The city had learned to recognize. The building before it recognized. The woman inside it. 42 floors of steel and glass rose like a crown over downtown, reflecting clouds, ambition, and power. At the top of that crown sat Alina Warren, CEO, strategist, legend. Or at least, that was who she had been. Now, she moved through her empire on wheels. The soft hum of rubber against polished floors replacing the confident echo of heels that once announced her arrival. 6 months earlier, Alina had survived an accident that should have killed her. The doctors called it a miracle. She called it a curse. From the chest down, her body refused to obey. The diagnosis was blunt, the prognosis cautious, and the future uncertain. Rehabilitation, they said. Time, they said. Hope, they said. Alina stopped listening after the word paralyzed. Every morning followed the same routine. Her assistant pushed open the glass doors of her office. Sunlight spilling across marble floors, and Alina would roll in. Spine straight, face flawless, armor perfectly in place. The red dress she wore was not an accident. It reminded everyone, including herself, that she was still in control. The chair might carry her body, but it would not define her. The employees feared her now more than ever. Before the accident, her authority came from brilliance and results. After it, it came from sharp words and an intolerance for weakness, especially her own. Meetings were efficient, cold, and unforgiving. No one lingered in her office unless absolutely necessary. That was why Adam noticed her before she noticed him. Adam Cole had started the job quietly. Night shifts mostly. He cleaned what others ignored: baseboards, fingerprints on glass, scuffed corners. He didn't gossip. He didn't complain. He worked because work meant food on the table and therapy bills paid. His daughter Lily waited for him every evening at home, her wheelchair parked beside her bed, her smile brighter than anything money could buy. On his third morning shift, Adam was mopping outside the executive floor when he saw her for the first time. The doors opened and Alina rolled out, framed by light and glass. She looked like a queen on a throne that betrayed her. Adam paused, not out of shock, but respect. He stepped aside to clear the path. She noticed the movement. Her eyes flicked toward him, sharp and assessing. He didn't stare, didn't rush to help, didn't look away either. He simply nodded once and returned to his work. It annoyed her more than pity ever could. Over the next week, their paths crossed often. Adam cleaned near her office during lunch hours. Alina worked late into the night. They existed in the same space without speaking. Tension humming beneath the surface like static electricity. One afternoon, Alina dropped a folder while transferring files from her desk. Papers scattered across the floor. Before she could react, Adam was already kneeling, gathering them with careful hands. "I've got it," she snapped. "I know," he replied calmly, handing the folder back. "But it's faster if I help." She stared at him, unaccustomed to a tone that neither feared nor worshipped her. "Don't assume I need help." He met her gaze evenly. "I didn't assume," I offered. For a moment, she considered firing him on the spot. Instead, she said nothing. Adam returned to his mop as if the exchange meant nothing. But that night, Alina replayed the moment in her mind, irritated by how deeply it unsettled her. A few days later, one of her wheelchair's wheels jammed while she was turning. The sudden stop sent a jolt through her body. She clenched her jaw, refusing to call for assistance. Minutes later, Adam appeared, crouching beside the wheel. "It's stuck," he said, not asking permission as he loosened a bolt. "Happens when the bearings wear down." "Who told you to touch it?" she demanded. "No one," he replied. "But I saw the way it dragged yesterday. Didn't want you getting hurt." I don't need a janitor fixing my chair. Adam finished tightening the wheel and stood. Doesn't matter who fixes it. What matters is that it works. Something about the simplicity of his words silenced her. He walked away before she could respond, leaving her alone with a chair that moved smoothly. Again, and a feeling she couldn't name. One evening, she overheard him in the hallway. Voice low, phone pressed to his ear. I'll be there after my shift. Yes, I know it's hard. No, Lily, you didn't do anything wrong. The name stuck with her. Lily. Later, curiosity overcame pride. Your daughter? She asked when he passed her office. He paused, surprised. Yes, she's 7. She's sick. Paralyzed, he said simply. No bitterness, no shame. The word landed heavy between them. For the first time, Alina didn't look away. She saw something familiar in his eyes: loss, yes, but also endurance. That night, Alina stayed in her office long after the lights dimmed. She stared at her reflection in the glass, at the woman who had conquered markets and boardrooms yet couldn't conquer her own despair. A week later, the elevator stalled between floors. The lights flickered. Alina's breath quickened as panic clawed at her chest. The walls felt closer, the silence louder. Then a voice broke through it. You're not alone. Adam was there, kneeling beside her. Elevators reset. Takes a few minutes. Her hands trembled. He noticed but didn't comment. Breathe with me, he said quietly. She did. When the doors finally opened, she exhaled shakily. Why are you like this? She asked. Like what? Not afraid of me. Adam shrugged. Fear doesn't help anyone stand up. She laughed, short and humorless. I can't walk. He looked at her, really looked at her. Walking isn't the only way to stand. For the first time since the accident, Alina didn't feel mocked by hope. She felt challenged by it. After the elevator incident, a quiet change settled between Alina and Adam. It was on. Tea spoken about, yet it shaped every interaction that followed. Alina no longer saw him as just another employee passing through her world. And Adam no longer treated her as an untouchable authority figure. Instead, there was a mutual understanding that pain had leveled the ground between them. Alina began staying later at the office. Sometimes she told herself it was work, but deep down she knew she was waiting. One evening, as she reviewed reports, soft laughter echoed from the hallway. When she rolled out, she saw Adam sitting beside a little girl in a wheelchair. Crayons scattered on the floor. The girl's face glowed with life. This must be Lily, Alina said. Lily nodded enthusiastically. You're the boss. Daddy says you're brave. The word caught Alina off guard. Brave was not how she saw herself anymore. Lily held up a drawing: a woman in a red dress, standing tall. Alina felt her throat tighten as she accepted it. That night, Alina couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the way Lily smiled, without shame, without fear. The next day, she asked Adam about the girl's therapy, about the routines that kept her motivated. He spoke with honesty, describing failures as often as successes. Hope, he said, is built in small pieces. Those words stayed with her. A few days later, Alina asked him to help her with basic movement exercises. Adam hesitated, reminding her he wasn't trained, but she insisted. They started slowly breathing, stretching, trying to reconnect her mind with her body. Some days ended in frustration. On others, progress came in tiny victories that felt enormous. Then one afternoon, Alina felt a slight response in her leg. It was barely noticeable, but it was real. She laughed, then cried, overwhelmed by the realization that her body hadn't completely given up on her. As weeks passed, Alina changed. Her voice in meetings softened. She listened more. The company noticed. Leadership didn't weaken her, humanized her. The day of the annual company gathering arrived. Alina sat on stage, nerves buzzing. In the crowd, Adam stood with Lily, who waved excitedly. Something in Alina steadied. When the applause began, Alina gripped the chair and pushed upward. Gasps filled the room as she stood, trembling but determined. She didn't walk far, but she stood long, enough to prove to herself that the impossible wasn't finished with her. After the event, she found Adam backstage. Tears filled her eyes. "You said you'd help me walk." He shook his head gently. "You did that? I just reminded you that you could." Months later, Alina funded programs to help children with mobility challenges. Inspired by Lily's courage, Adam took on a new role within the company. But he remained the same man, quiet, grounded, and unwavering. For Alina, the true miracle wasn't standing up. It was learning that strength could exist even in vulnerability, and that sometimes the people who help us rise are the ones who expect nothing in return.